reproduction in plants. So some important methods which I discussed with you were that is, for example, fragmentation, budding process, spore formation, and vegetative propagation, right? So just let me first ask certain questions from you. So you have to give me two examples of those plants which reproduce by spore formation. You have to name any two plants which reproduce by spore formation. So again, who told you to speak like this? Still, I can see many of the students are here, those who are raising hand and following the proper protocol of the classroom instruction. Yes. Okay, let's start with Bhagyaraj. Tell.
Ma'am, fungi, bread mold, mosses, and firm.
Yes. So I gave you the examples of bread mold, fern, mosses, and yes, I can see many of you are writing the same correct answer in chat also. So correct only. My second question to you is that how will define spores? What are spores? So right now you gave me some examples of those plants to be produced by means of spores. But if I want to know from you people, what do you understand by this spore? What is a spore? What will you tell me as answer? What will you tell me as answer? Okay. Yes, Lakshay Kumar Sharma, tell.
Spores are the asexual bodies.
Okay, these are the asexual bodies. Okay. What Ishani has to add in this answer? Speak up. Yes, Ishani.
Ma'am, spores are asexual reproduction body, and each spore is covered with a protective coat to
Okay.
under to under.
Okay, very good. So all your answers are correct only, and in chat box also I can see that is answer written by Iti Vishal Singh, and that is Ananya Dhakad also has just responded by writing tiny pores. So correct all, not pores actually, it should be spores. So spores, these are the asexual bodies which are produced by certain plants for means of reproduction. And whenever you are going to define the term spore, don't forget to mention that line that they remain covered with a hard protective coat which protect them during unfavorable conditions. Right? Yes. So this much we discussed in previous class. So now today we will move on with the sexual reproduction in plants. Till now we were discussing about asexual reproduction in plants. How does it occur? Now we'll move on to sexual reproduction. How does it take place in plants? So in the initial classes for this chapter, we have already discussed the main differences between sexual and asexual reproduction. And the key difference which is that in sexual reproduction, two parents are required. One is male parent and another one is female parent. And we also know that in plants, the sexual reproduction, it occurs in the form of seeds. Means sexual reproduction, it leads to the formation of seeds in plants. And when we grow these seeds, they germinate to give rise to new, younger plants. So basically today we will start our journey to try to understand how the seeds are formed in a plant, because seeds are the result of sexual reproduction in plants. Okay. So to start with, we know that in a plant, it is the flower which is its reproductive part, right? In sixth standard, we discussed that flower is the reproductive part of a plant, or I should basically call it as it is the site of sexual reproduction in plants. In fact, many authors, they write in their books that flower is a modified part of a plant so that sexual reproduction can occur. Sexual reproduction can occur in plants for the production of seeds, right? So in sixth standard itself, we have discussed about the main important parts of a flower. So let me see who will tell me what are the main important parts of a flower. You have to tell me the main important parts of the flower. Okay, so here many of you have raised hand. Let's start with Piyush Kumar Dhakad. Tell Piyush.
Stamen and
Okay, so in parts you told me about that is stamen. Okay. Then what about Vidhan? Tell. What next?
pistil. Pistil.
Okay, so pistil. Okay. Any other part left? Yes. Taslima, tell. Taslima.
Petals.
Okay, petals. Okay, petals. Okay. Anything else
Ovules
left?
and
Yes,
ovary.
Hetal.
Ovaries.
Nobody will speak like this.
Sepals.
Okay, so Hetal told sepals. Okay, right.
Ma'am,
Okay.
petals and sepals are not important parts.
Yes, yes, yes. What do you want to ask?
Ma'am, in reproductive parts,
Hmm.
stamen and pistil are important. Petals and sepals are not important.
No, petals and sepals, they do play a role because they both protect these male and female parts till their job is not done. So they come as a protective part.
Okay,
Okay.
ma'am.
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
stigma.
style and
Ma'am,
stigma.
stigma and style is also an
In flowers, petals
So,
helps in pollination.
so what is going on like this? Did I ask you to speak up like this? And let me move on further. I will just move on with each and
Ma'am,
every part. So just if you move on in order, if you just have a flower in your hand, then we move in the order. First we have sepals, then we have petals, then that is
ma'am,
stamen
anther.
or pistil. Okay, yes?
Ma'am, anther. Ma'am,
Same thing was
anther.
coming to that point. Now that is, we know that sepals and petals, so sepals, they are greenish in color like leaves, and they protect the inner floral parts in their floral budding stage, right? And then comes the petals. What are petals? I told you sixth standard that petals, these are the brightly colored part of a flower, and this bright color, it help in attracting insects and other animals, right? Then comes the stamen and pistil. Stamen and pistil. So I hope you still remember that we have drawn the diagram like this. So this is for stamen. So this part we call it as filament. This part is known as anther, right? So this is stamen, and then next comes for pistil, like this. So this part is called stigma. It is called style. It is called ovary. It is called ovule, right? And this is for pistil, right? So this we have already discussed in sixth standard. And now please mute your mic. Let me finish it, and after that I will entertain all your doubts. And kindly please don't interrupt in between by speaking and simply just turning on your mic. And here I can see some of you have raised hand. You want to ask something? Taslima, Vidhan, Piyush. Okay. Yes. So stamen, it is made up of two parts, filaments and anther. So filament is just like a stick, and on the top of which it is carrying anther. So stamen, it is the male part of a flower. It is the male part of a flower, and inside anther it contains yellow granular structures. So these are called the pollen grains. These are called pollen grains, right? Now these pollen grains in turn, they contain the male gamete. This you have to remember. That stamen is the male part. It is made up of two subparts, filament and anther. Inside anther, what are present? Pollen grains. And pollen grains in turn, they contain the male gamete, right? Then here we come to the female part of the flower, which is called pistil, or we also refer it by the name called carpel. Carpel or pistil, that is the female part. It is again made up of three more parts. Stigma, the topmost part. Then comes the neck, we call it as a slender tube-like structure called a style. And the innermost part of a flower, that is called the ovary. And inside ovary are present small bead-like structures, which we call as ovule. And in pistil or carpel, these are the ovules which contain a female gamete, So here I have used the term male gamete and female gamete. So question comes, what is the meaning of this word gamete? So if we want to define for this gamete, then we can simply write that gametes. So what are gametes? These are special reproductive cells produced for sexual reproduction, right? Because in asexual reproduction, we have learnt that we can raise new plants from different kind of vegetative parts. We can simply take a normal ordinary cell from the vegetative part of a plant body, and from that cell we can raise a new plant. But in case of sexual reproduction, in case of the organisms in which sexual reproduction takes place, then in their body, all cells cannot participate in reproduction for producing a new organism. So in those organisms, special cells called gametes are produced. And these gametes are capable of producing a new organism. So we call that these gametes are special reproductive cells which are produced for sexual reproduction in our body, right? So in plants also these gametes are present, and these gametes are of two types, male gamete and the female gamete, right? So in case of plants, where we will find male gamete? The male gamete is present or located inside the pollen grain. तो प्लांट की बॉडी में हमें मेल गैमेट कहाँ मिलेगा? pollen grains के अंदर, right? And female gamete, where we will find? We will find inside the ovule. Okay, and we learn in our classes that female gamete, we also call it as an egg or ovum. It is also known as egg or ovum, right? So now we know that the important parts of a flower are sepals, petals, stamen and pistil. I discussed with you the structure of these particular parts, although I have already discussed with you in 6th standard in pretty detail. But again today I revised and I told you that male gamete is located inside the pollen grain. Where pollen grains are present? Inside anther. And anther is a part of the stamen. So we call it as the male part of a flower. We call it as a male part of the flower. Why? Because it is containing the male gamete. Similarly, in that is pistil or carpel, why we call it as a female part? Because it is containing the female gamete called egg, which is present inside the ovules, right? Okay. So up to this much now we clear? Okay. So I can see raised hands here. Ananya and Ekansh.
Yes, ma'am.
You have raised hands. Okay,
Yes,
Angana,
ma'am.
I
I
have
want
raised
to
the
ask
question.
you.
Are pollen grains only one cell or more than one cell? Okay. Angana, inside pollen grain, the male gamete which is present, that is a single cell only. And same is for that is egg or ovum, that is also a kind of single cell. But you learn in higher classes, their nature is haploid. Haploid means they contain half number of the chromosomes. So आगे जाके पढ़ेंगे. So right now simply remember that anther contain pollen grains which contain male gamete. Here ovule contains egg which is the female gamete. Right? Okay. So now we know that in plants where gametes are produced and where these respective gametes are located inside the plant body. Now, it is not like that every flower has got both male and female part inside them. It is not like that every flower is going to have a stamen as well as a pistil. And based upon the fact that which reproductive part a flower is containing, based upon that we have different types of flowers. Here, so next one is that is types of flowers, right? And this is an important topic for exam. Now types of flower, criteria for categorization I told you, that is the kind of reproductive part they are containing. So we have two types. So first one is called unisexual flowers. First one is called unisexual flowers. So here the uni stands for one. यूनि का क्या मतलब है यहाँ पर? One. And sexual means reproductive. So unisexual flowers which contain either stamen or pistil, which contain either stamen or pistil. So unisexual means they will contain only one type of reproductive part. Either they will have male part or they will have a female part, but they won't have both the parts together. So such kind of flower, we call it as unisexual flowers. So they either will have a stamen or they will have a pistil. So sometimes it happens that some species of a flower, half of them the species they contain only stamen and some species they contain only the pistil. For example, the plants like papaya, cucumber, corn, right? Then watermelon, and even that is your white berries. Many more examples are there. So all these are the examples of unisexual flower. So again, I am telling that you have to at least remember those examples which are given in your NCERT textbook. So for unisexual flowers in your NCERT textbook, three main examples are given. That is papaya, cucumber and corn. Corn, what we say in Hindi, bhutta. Okay. So they have, that is unisexual flowers. And as I can see in the chat box that some of you are involved in your own mutual conversation. So it seems that you are not focusing in the classroom teaching. You are just putting the questions from the extra ahead topics which I haven't taken till now. So kindly concentrate in the class, or next time I am going to point you out personally. So please don't give me that chance. Yes. Okay. So these are called unisexual flowers. Then second category, I hope you can guess the name, that is bisexual flowers. Bisexual flowers, right? Now bisexual, so again you can take out the meaning from the word itself. Bi stands for two and sexual stands for reproductive. It means those flowers which contain both male and female part. Now male we know that stamen, female we know that a pistil part. It means these are those flowers which will have stamen and pistil both. And some common examples which we have, the best example you to remember is China rose flower, that is hibiscus, which you also call it as the shoe flower. So that China rose, it is an example of bisexual flower. Then similarly mustard we have, rose, and that is many of the lilies. They all are of bisexual flowering nature, right? So in exam, either you get a question directly that is differentiate between unisexual and bisexual flower, or the most common type of question which they place from this part is that you would be given a mixture of examples. For example, I gave you some mixture like papaya, cucumber, rose, mustard, like that. And then question will be identify or categorize or classify the following plants into or which bear unisexual and bisexual flowers. So at that time, you have to be very alert while seeing the example. That's why again I am repeating that please do remember at least those examples which are given in your NCERT textbook. So that is unisexual flower and bisexual flower. Okay. So now we know that the different parts of a flower. We know that the type of flowers, because some flowers will have both stamen and pistil and some will be having either stamen और pistil. कुछ flowers ऐसे होंगे जिनमें stamen और pistil दोनों present होगा, और कुछ flowers ऐसे होंगे जिनमें या तो stamen ही होगा या फिर pistil ही होगा, right? And examples we discussed. Now let's move on a bit further. Okay. So now we know that stamen, it contains pollen grain, and that pollen grain contains the male gamete, right? Similarly, pistil, it contains ovule, and ovule contains the female gamete. Okay. Now, in sexual reproduction, as I told you that gametes, these are the special cells which are produced in the body of male and female parts, and they only can take part in reproduction. So what happens when male and female gametes are produced? Then these male gamete and female gamete, this is male gamete and this is the female gamete, they fuse with each other, and they give rise to a new cell which is called a zygote. Now this fusion process means that is, so here we are having this male gamete and here we are having this female gamete. Now gametes are nothing but they are a type of cell only, and as we have learned about the structure of cell in previous chapters, that each cell has got a nucleus and a cytoplasm, right? So here also this male gamete is containing nucleus and this part is the cytoplasm. Same is in female gamete, it is having a nucleus and a cytoplasm. Now at the time of fusion means the male gamete and female gamete, they fuse with each other. They get mixed with each other and they give rise to a new cell. So during this fusion or mixing, what happens? Say for example, here the male gamete, here the female gamete. So during fusion, what will happen? That is, so the two cells are here like this. So their genetic material, their nuclei will basically fuse with each other. And finally, it gives rise to a single cell. And that is known as a zygote. That is known as a zygote. And this process of fusion, we call it as fertilization. We call it as a fertilization, right? So fertilization is a very important event in sexual reproduction. Because of this fertilization process only, male and female gamete, they fuse with each other and they form the new cell called zygote. And do remember that zygote is also a single cell. It is one cell only. So now we know that what happens in the scheme of sexual reproduction. फिर जो zygote बनता है, इसी में बहुत सारे सेल डिविजन्स होते हैं और एक सिंगल सेल ही आगे जाकर एक बहुत बड़ा लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म क्रिएट करता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल वी ह्यूमन बीइंग. In case of plants, it produces finally seed and seed gives rise to a new plant, right? Now question is that in stamen, male gamete is present and in pistil, female gamete is present. So they need to approach each other for the part of fertilization. क्योंकि जो male gamete है वो stamen में है और जो female gamete है वो कहाँ पर है? ओव्यूल के अंदर है, right? वो ओव्यूल के अंदर है. तो दोनों के फ्यूजन के लिए it is necessary that the two gametes should approach each other in plants. And for this purpose, yes, Astha, you're right only. And this occurs by means of the process called pollination. By the process of pollination, male gamete is made to reach to the female gamete. Because we learn in higher classes, that is, in most of the species, it is the male gamete which is motile, it can move. And female gamete, it is non-motile, it cannot move. तो जो female gamete है, जो plant की ovary के ovule के अंदर present है, वो तो वही रहेगा, because it cannot move. But the male gamete which is present inside the pollen grain, it can move. So it will move towards the female gamete inside the ovule, and that occurs by the means of pollination. So next, let's see what happens in pollination and how it results in fertilization. Yes. So next, that is, it is pollination. Now pollination, the simplest definition which we can have simply, that is, it is the transfer of pollen grain, is a transfer of pollen grain to the stigma of a flower. Transfer of pollen grain, where pollen grain is present? Inside the anther. So transfer of pollen grain to the stigma of the flower, we call it as the pollination, right? Now we know that, so something is going on. Let me see. Taslima, you're telling the screen is blur. Is it like that for everyone?
No, ma'am.
No,
It is
ma'am.
blurred.
No, ma'am. No,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
No,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
No,
It is clear.
ma'am.
Let's have a doubt. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Yes, seven.
No, ma'am.
Seven standard.
No,
Okay.
ma'am.
I am majority of the
No,
response.
ma'am.
That for
No, ma'am.
is okay. So Taslima, it might be the possibility that better you are having net issue from your side. So kindly check it for that. Okay? Yes. So here that is transfer of pollen grain to the stigma of a flower is called pollination. Now we have types of flowers. Some flowers are unisexual and some flowers are bisexual. And based upon the type of flower only, we have got two types of pollination. So here in types of pollination, we have that is the first one is called self-pollination and second is known as cross-pollination. Cross-pollination, right? And these types of pollination and differences between them is very important for examination. You can check out your previous year papers. Almost every year you will get one question from the topic pollination. Either 1 mark, 2 mark or 3 marks. So just ensure that your all concepts are clear regarding this pollination topic. Let's start with what is the difference between the two? Self-pollination and cross-pollination. In self-pollination, that is the pollen grain lands on the stigma of same flower. Stigma of the same flower. Means a flower is there and the same flower is also having a stamen and pistil. So from that anther of the stamen, pollen grain will simply just land on the stigma of the flower. It means we say that self-pollination generally takes place in bisexual flowers. क्योंकि एक ही फ्लावर के अंदर जो स्टेमन है उसके एंथर के अंदर जो पॉलन ग्रेन है वो पॉलन ग्रेन उस स्टेमन से निकलकर उसी फ्लावर के अंदर जो स्टिग्मा है पिस्टिल का उस पर लैंड करता है. So that we call it as a self-pollination, and it means it is only possible when a flower is going to have bisexual by nature. So that makes the second point that self-pollination generally takes place in bisexual flowers, right? And you can also take in converse way. I told you a moment before the differences between unisexual and bisexual flowers. So there you can add one more point with reference to the pollination. That in bisexual flowers, generally self-pollination takes place. और उसको रिवर्स कर हम यहाँ पर ऐड कर देंगे self-pollination generally occurs in bisexual flowers, right? In cross-pollination, we say that the pollen grain lands on the stigma of other flower.
Ma'am, doubt.
Of the other flower, right? But here, this transfer can occur in two ways. अभी जो क्रॉस पॉलिनेशन का ट्रांसफर है कि जो पॉलन ग्रेन है वो एंथर से निकल के दूसरे फ्लावर के स्टिग्मा पे जब जाके डिपॉजिट होगा उसको हम बोलेंगे क्रॉस पॉलिनेशन, राइट? बट इट कैन ऑकर इन टू डिफरेंट वेज. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आई एम जस्ट टेकिंग हेयर two plants which are having flowers of the same species. So for example, this is plant 1 and this is plant 2, right? अभी दो प्लांट्स है हमारे पास, दोनों ही प्लांट्स सेम स्पीशीज के हैं. ओके, नाउ व्हाट हैपेंस दैट इज इन क्रॉस पॉलिनेशन, pollen grain has to land from one flower to the stigma of the another flower. Now for example, on plant 1 a flower is present, because we learn in higher classes that in some species male and female flower, they are present on different branches but in the same plant. आप आगे जाकर पढ़ेंगे कि कुछ प्लांट स्पीशीज में जो मेल और फीमेल प्लांट्स होते हैं वो एक ही प्लांट पर प्रेजेंट होते हैं लेकिन डिफरेंट ब्रांचेस पे होते हैं. एंड इन सम स्पीशीज दे आर बोर्न सेपरेटली ऑन डिफरेंट प्लांट्स, राइट? So if the anther is moving from one flower to the another flower which is present on a different branch but on the same plant, then it will also be called as a cross pollination. फ्लावर्स हैं एक ही प्लांट पर प्रेजेंट है लेकिन डिफरेंट ब्रांचेस पे है. एक फ्लावर उसमें स्टेमन वाला है, एक फ्लावर पिस्टिल वाला है. So if this transfer of pollen grain is occurring in this way, it will also be called as a cross pollination. And second way, that from one flower which is present on the first plant, the anther is transferred. The anther is transferred to the stigma of the another flower present on a separate plant. Then also it will called as a cross pollination. It means for cross pollination the ground rule is that anther from one flower will be transferred to the stigma of the another flower. अब वो another flower same plant पर present है या दूसरे plant पर present है same species के, that all will be counted in the cross pollination. Okay, and that I have told you here, but this you learn in higher class. लेकिन ये याद रखेंगे, की रूल यही है क्रॉस पॉलिनेशन का. ओके, एंड जनरली इन क्रॉस पॉलिनेशन
Ma'am, doubt.
we say that it occurs in unisex flowers. Okay, तो क्विकली यस आई नो माही, टाइम इज ओवर. तो तुम अभी स्कूल से आके बेल बजाओगे यहाँ पे. यस हंसिका, यू आर आस्किंग अ डाउट. टेल.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, ma'am, these gametes.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, these gametes are stored in the in stigma and anther, or they are produced or during a specific time.
Okay, actually as soon as the stamen and pistil are formed, then each part has got its own function. तो जैसे जो pollen grain है उनका function होता है अपने अंदर male gamete को produce करना. तो जैसे ही stamen बनेगा anther develop होता है और anther के अंदर pollen grains बनते हैं और pollen grains के अंदर हमेशा male gamete present होता है. Same is the case with the ovules which are present inside the ovary, right?
Ma'am, doubt.
हाँ पूछो.
Ma'am, I have one more doubt.
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Okay, do one thing. Okay, do one thing. You quickly write in the chat box. I will take one by one.
Ma'am, I wrote.
What you wrote? Okay, Kansh, your question is they also contain 23 pairs of gametes like humans. It's not true for every plant species. They are very different. It depends upon the species of plant. Okay. बाकी जिन लोगों का बेटा इसमें लिखो चैट बॉक्स में. Meanwhile, let me just one more time ask about the latecomers who have joined. Okay, first from 7th A, Priyanka Patel is here. No. Varsha Verma, Pranil Devnath. Then 7th B, Anshika Tomar, Anushka Singh.
Ma'am, Mrigank Rawat.
Huh?
Ma'am, Mrigank Rawat.
Mrigank Rawat. 4 you have already marked, beta. Then Deepshri. Is Deepshri here? Gauri. खुशी कुमारी, यशविनी,
Present, ma'am.
okay, Yashwini is present. Okay, then Bhaskar, Divyansh Gupta, Himanshu, Nicholas. Nicholas is not here. Samanyu Soni, not present. Okay.
Ma'am, may I?
Ma'am, Ruchi is present.
Who's present?
Ruchi Verma.
तो बेटा आपकी तो लगा दी थी ना attendance। अभी मैंने उनके नाम बोले हैं जिनकी अटेंडेंस मार्क नहीं है मेरे रजिस्टर में। ओके
मैम आपने भास्कर को लेके लगा दी क्या 70221?
नाउ यू आर स्पीकिंग भास्कर कोहली। यस नाउ आई एम मार्क्ड।
ओके मैम।
ओके
Ma'am, may I?
मैम आई कैन लीव क्लास?
यस
ओके मैम।
Mom, can I leave class?
yes yes those who don't have any doubt you can leave the class. Okay, so Hansika, you have put a question in cross pollination how the male gamete comes to know that where is the female gamete and it lands on it. Actually that they don't come to know. Actually these pollen grains are transferred by means of various agencies like water, animals, and the most common agent is wind. Okay, so these pollen grains are produced in many number. So out of these many hundreds of numbers, at least few are going to land upon the stigma, and then they would be able to reach to the ovule and fertilization will take place, right? So I am just winding off the class because time is already up. So we will continue. Better remind me next class, Ekansh, if you don't mind, because another teacher is already waiting. Okay? Yes. So we'll meet soon again. Till then, take care. Bye.
Thank you,
Thank you
ma'am.
मैम। बाय मैम। थैंक यू मैम। बाय।
Thank you, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
बाय एवरीवन।